Redditors who have tried to hide on your cruise when it ended so that you could stay on the ship for the next round, how did that go? I worked for Carnival. We will find you. We know you're in the ship. And we all want you to get off so I can take a short nap before I have to do it all over again in a few hours. I know you're planning something up. I think they might catch you when they do the lifeboat drill at the beginning. Been doing this for a couple of years now. They slapped a name tag on me, and now I work here. As someone about to embark on a cruise, this thread could hold vital information. You may enjoy a listen to the stowaway episode of the podcast Criminal. It's not someone who just didn't leave, but someone who plotted to go on a cruise without paying. It's a good listen. It is all electronic card swipe now, everyone monitored all the time. All of the japes and scrapes have been a stowaway, one step ahead of the steward is in the past now. Used to be in the USCG. We had this happen a few times in Miami. They were all escorted off the ship. Typically the police handle the situation, but if a stowaway was discovered while still in the 3 to 12 mile range, we would render assistance once they were apprehended by the onboard law enforcement. I don't know if this counts, but my dad got locked in a toilet cubicle on a ferry to France and it took several people to find him. The toilet was right out of the way and you couldn't hear him yelling even right outside in the corridor because the doors were so massive. I guess he could have gone immediately back to England. Could have become a ship toilet hermit. Late to the party, but I can chime in and further add proof if needed. I worked for Carnival for 5 years, specifically in debarkation. Additionally, I worked for Disney Cruise Line and Princess Cruise Line. Here's what happens: we give you a card upon check-in and that card is scanned the minute you step on board. Additionally, it is scanned when you leave the ship for either complete debarkation or excursions. At the end of your cruise, debarkation starts around 7 am. Come 10 am we receive a list of people who have not yet had their card scanned. It's impossible to get off the boat without getting your card scanned, unless you jump into the water, haha. Then a manhunt begins to get you guys off the ship so we can put a new 2,200 to 2,600 people on it. We do not start boarding new passengers until every card from the previous voyage has been scanned. In my experience, nobody ever waits and tries to hide. If you do take a cruise, book a flight that's a little bit later in the morning and go with the latest checkout time you can. So many people aim for debarking around 7 o'clock to 9 am. Literally over 1,700 people will be waiting in lines that'll take well over an hour to get out of. Instead of waiting in line for the hour, stay on board and eat some breakfast, take some last-minute photos, and then when your time comes just leave, go through customs, and be on your merry way. I'm the one-stop Redditor for all cruising tips, haha. Edit: I'm starting my commute to work, but I'll be sure to answer all questions when I get there. Smile. Edit 2: alright, I'm back, time to answer these questions. Edit 3: I'll still answer questions if you PM me. Also thanks for all of the kind words and gold and silver, it's been a fun thread. Wow, I can actually kinda answer that. Okay, so it was not a cruise but a ferry. Also we didn't hide on purpose. It was the ferry from Souris, Prince Edward Island to the Îles de la Madeleine, Quebec, Canada. A 12 hours ride. We embarked at 2 am and found a very quiet spot to sleep. We slept through the landing and no one woke us up because no one actually saw us. When we woke up we saw the islands going away from us. Result, we spent 36 hours on that boat. Sorry for my bad English. There was an episode of This American Life, I think, where a woman did this, but back in the day, like the 60s or early 70s. There were seating charts or something in the dining room so she couldn't sneak in to eat, and things that she assumed would be open most of night, like bars, weren't. She lived on a lot of bar garnishes and had to pretend she was drunk who kept passing out in the lounge. It was a lot less fun than she thought it would be, with very little sleep and cleaning herself up in public bathrooms while worrying she would be caught doing so at any time. She had to sneak back into her own country because she hadn't brought a passport. A little different, I was going through a really hard bout with depression in 2012 and really had nothing going on in life besides an overnight job at a gym. My parents decided to do a family cruise in March as our Christmas present. I was actually planning on saying goodbye to my family at the end of the trip and just getting off at the last island and not getting back on. Then I found out the cruise company would alert local authorities that I didn't get back on. I wanted to just island skip for a while instead of backpacking through Europe to do some thinking and adventuring. I didn't want to end up in some shitty Caribbean jail. Ships tend to have really good tracking of their packs. There's security cameras everywhere, and when you disembark they give the ship a really good walkthrough. All the passenger areas are easy to see through and have no hiding places, and if a PAX were to be in a crew area, it happened every now and then, we would notice immediately. I've never had passengers try to stow away, but I've definitely seen crew run away from the ship. Mostly happens in American ports. Personally, when I was working on ships I couldn't wait to get the fuck off them every time I saw land. Why people cruise to begin with is beyond my comprehension. I am a stand-up comic who works on cruise ships 3 to 4 months out of the year. Guests who take forever to leave suck. Employees of the ship can't leave until every last guest has exited the vessel. So if a guest is taking their time to leave or hiding, they are potentially keeping over 100 employees from going home. And many of the employees are on the ship for like 8 months, so every second counts when they just want to get off and start heading home. Get the fuck off the boat. Not me, but a couple decided to hide to try get another week out of their holiday. This was while we were halfway through our holiday, so we heard it all. Dozens of announcements calling for them or anyone who's seen them were made throughout the day. Their rooms were searched and everything they owned in that room was seized, apparently. The ship left port late by about 90 minutes, but they were eventually found and escorted off the ship when the crew decided to check the identity of every passenger on board. I don't know if this counts, but on the last night of a cruise, my friends and I got really drunk. Well, I don't know how the hell, but I ended up somewhere passengers shouldn't be, in a goddamn supply closet, I believe. The ship had docked and there was a 2-hour search for me. Still drunk, I couldn't find a way to get out of the room where the supply closet was, but the door was locked. The crew thought I was trying to sneak another ride, but after reviewing the cameras they clearly could tell I was nowhere near sober. So they let me go on my way with a good laugh. To this day I still don't remember making my way down there.